Hello everybody, welcome to the 5 Minutes PM podcast for this special series about career. We are on part 4 or episode 4 and we are discussing the 10 dimensions of career. If you recall the first part, we discussed about experience and the relevance of study. On the second part, we discussed a lot about the relevance of being focused and also how important it is to use our project management experience and our planning experience in our own career. On the third part, we discussed about persistence and dynamism. How relevant is to try heavily and to look for the opportunities and not wait for them to happen. This week, I want to talk to you about flexibility and self-knowledge. Flexibility. It's very, very important that you develop your capacity to adapt to different circumstances. It's very important that we understand that in real life, there is no normal conditions. Remember when you study physics or chemistry? That you remember, okay, when you want to calculate, for example, the gravity acceleration, please disregard the resistance of the air. And come on, in real life, there is always air. In our life, there is always air. So we need to understand that when you go to a lab, you are in very controlled environment. But in 99.9% of the projects, you don't have this control because you have hundreds different stakeholders and everything. So you need to be flexible. You need to be flexible. You need to have your focus, but you need to be flexible. So you need to think globally. Do you know what I talk, for example, to my colleagues in Brazil? Of course, I'm Brazilian. So it's that Brazil is not the world. Brazil is one country inside the world. You need to understand and you need to look for opportunities that are not necessarily in the country or in the city you live. You need to be more mobile and more flexible to different kinds of contracts, to different kinds of engagement. So for those who are starting their work, I would like to suggest that you leave your home. Don't live with your parents, even if they have a nice home. Build your own challenges. Do you know why? Because this will improve your flexibility, your ability to work in a different way. Don't try to find a job like the one that you learn in the university, in your school. Do you know why? Because this job doesn't exist. Real job is tough. It's tough. Really, really tough. For those who are transitioning in career, be flexible with different kinds of contracts. Part-time, flex-time, contract by results. Create a small company to outsource. So you need to be more flexible because the world and the kind of engagement is changing. You need to be prepared for that. And also be very careful with the word consultant. Do you know why? Because many people on a career transition, they love to become consultants until they find a new job. But look, if you do not have a very strong differential of being a consultant, don't use this title. Because this title will go against you. It's much better that you leave your title empty in your business card, or you put project manager. I'm a project manager. I'm in transition of career, but I'm a project manager. Don't put things just to fill this gap because this will hurt you. Trust me, this will hurt you if you don't have this strong differential. For those who are looking for new horizons, look for new markets. Think in different projects, in different areas. So think, okay, look, I work on that information technology area on an IT company. Why not move in, for example, for a mining company where I can have more options? So look for different markets. It's very, very important. So it will bring you different experience. I'm not talking about opposite ones, okay? But you can think about different things. And this will help you also to understand the next step. The next area I want to cover with you is self-knowledge. Do you know your weakest points? Because competent people, they know where they are weak. and they know where they are going and why. Do you know where are you going? Do you know where you are weak? Because your strength, I'm sure you know, and you are proud of it. But do you know your weak points? Do you have a personal vision? Because I have mine. I did a balance scorecard and a strategic map of myself. I'm not talking about my company or my organization. No, I'm talking about myself. You know why? And a lot of people think, oh, look, Ricardo is a little bit neurotic. In some points, I need to agree with you. But in other points, it's very important because I realize that nobody can drive my life but myself. So I need to understand where I want to go. And I need to understand which path I should track on that. So for those who are starting the career, you need to know your weak points. Do you know? Ask your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner, your friends. Ask them, where is my weak point? Know them. You need to be aware. Don't be blind on understanding your weak points. For those who are in transition of career and amplifying the horizons and looking for new horizons, work on your weak points. I assume that you know them. If you don't know, then you are in trouble. Search for external help. If you are not so organized, look for GTD, getting things done methodology. Look, I'm not good on computers. Train. Do classes. Don't try to hide your weak points. For myself, for example, a lot of people see my success and this, but I'm completely neurotic. I have no control of the amount of work I do. And I know that this is a weak point, and I'm trying all the time to have external support to manage this. And I don't feel shy of sharing this for you. And this, again, please, this is not self-help podcast. This is a project management podcast. And you may ask me, why Ricardo is telling this to me? Because if you don't know yourself, you'll be very weak on finding your best career opportunities. If you know where you are strong and where you are weak, and you know how to work on this both sides, you can leverage your career to a next level. Think about that. And next week, I will be closing this series of podcasts covering ethics and relationship, where we close this series of 5 podcasts about career. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and see you next week with another 5 Minutes PM podcast.